Gayle, it is so cool to meet you.
Hello, it is lovely to meet you over the face of the internet.
Yay. Congratulations. Not only 500 million global streams, but we're very excited here in Ireland. You've gone to #1.
Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Well, you have gone to #1. I mean, when you were writing this, in your wildest dreams, did you ever think that, across the ocean, you'd be going to #1 and across many oceans around the world?
No, I mean, especially not writing it. Honestly, writing it, it was such a fun time writing the song because I literally just wrote it with like my friends. So it was, I mean, a good time. But no, we did not think it would be what it is now. Especially because even when we were writing the song, we wrote the song like over a year ago. Like we wrote it in like beginning like mid 2020, like a little bit right before the world went to not too great, it was like
Yeah.
it was like right before, and it was one of those things where like TikTok wasn't even like on my radar yet, and so like I could never have like thought when writing this song like, oh, this is a song that's like gonna do well on TikTok and this is gonna go on the radio and do all these things. Like, no, like it's so shocking and amazing and exciting.
That is really mad. Like, we're only talking mid 2020, so 18 months ago. TikTok wasn't even on your radar. And now it is the thing that's Skype, because like you released this, was it in August of 2021? And it was there, it was doing its thing. But all of a sudden, thanks to TikTok, it skyrocketed, didn't it?
It did. Honestly, I went to like, I always like when I used to say I went to 0 to 100, but I wouldn't even say that. Like it like went to like 10 to 100, like it was doing its thing. Like with ABC being out in like 2 to 3 weeks, it already was like my highest streamed song. So it already like did better than anything that I've ever done. So it was like, great, there it is. There it is. It did it. It hit 1 million streams. And I was
you
like,
were happy. You were happy with that.
I was happy because the most a song's ever gotten was like 500,000 streams. Like I had 12,000 monthly listeners before ABC came out. Like that's it. Like I had music out, and but I also like it had been a year. Like the last time I literally released a song was August 2019, like it was, or something like that. It was like it took me a minute before like I released music again. And so like my monthly listeners went down. People weren't really like consistently listening to my music, which was fine. Like it obviously like it didn't make me happy, but I was like not mad about it either. Especially when I like didn't have music out. So when it was out, I was like, there it is. That's it. And so when it did like 100 million streams. I mean, now it's at like 200 million, which is literally mind-boggling. Like I literally can't like comprehend it.
But it is crazy. It's not just the global streams, Gayle. It's just the other day you saw yourself on billboards, massive billboards, and you appear on Jimmy Fallon. Like when you're standing in like backstage and you hear him doing his thing, and then he goes, and now it's Gayle. What is going through your mind?
In the moment. So what happened is like I walk up, they have this curtain and it's like pitch black basically, and there's somebody standing next to me, and then like I was sitting, they tell you where to stand, so you're standing and they have a curtain, and the person standing next to you isn't even the one that like puts down the curtain. Somebody is like walking up slowly, like time wise, and then walking up to you, pulling the curtain, and you walk. So there's like a split 15 seconds of where you're just standing there waiting for the person to come. And like I remember I had to catch my breath. Like I had to like just breathe a couple times because it was one of those things where I was like just almost out of breath. Like I was just there. And so I was like I literally just had to be like, okay. And I like think the biggest thing too is like in my vocabulary, like I just curse a lot. Like I don't mean to. It is just something that like happens. Like it's just like the way I talk. It is just like in my vocabulary. When I talk, it's in my songs. Like that's just like my life and like who I am as a person right now. Like I just curse a lot.
But...
and like when you're on television,
yeah,
you can't do that. And so like it was so like the biggest thing was like, okay, don't curse. Okay. Like and so yeah, I mean it was such a fun time.
But you not only had to do that, like it's one thing to go up there and do the interview, but then you also have to go and perform live. And actually, which one is more nerve-wracking? Is the interview more nerve-wracking because you can't hide behind the mic?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that was the biggest thing. Like, I actually originally wasn't supposed to do the couch interview. It was something that kind of happened last minute because he saw my rehearsal,
Yeah.
and then was like, I practiced a lot. Like, I did practice a lot for it. And I practiced like the day before, and actually was in this hotel room. Like, I had the drummer. He didn't have a drum kit, but he had drumsticks, and he banged on the bed. Like, it was a fun time, but it was actually more nerve-wracking to do the interview than the performance. But I only think it was because it was first, it was like the
Yeah.
first thing. And like, it was one of those things where like, I didn't really know where I was going when they like left the curtain. Like, they're just basically like, sit next to Jimmy. I didn't know which way like he was. Like, I was gonna figure it out pretty quickly, but like I had no, I just literally walked out, and then like I shook his hand, but then I hugged the other guy, and like then I was like, oh no, I didn't hug him. Oh no, or maybe I hugged him and I wasn't supposed to. Like, there's so many things to like have the possibility of like overthinking, and you're just talking, and I'm a big talker, and so I ramble, and I didn't want to ramble, and like so many things to think through. But also same with like the performance, like the song. I went on tour and I performed the angrier version because any opportunity I have to curse more, apparently I have to take. And so like I went to doing the most like vulgar English vulgar version to
Yeah.
doing the most squeaky, sparkly, clean version ever. And so like that was an interesting like transition to make. And also I had, for some reason, I had to be a singer-songwriter and be artsy and change the lyrics in the second chorus, and I really didn't want to forget it. And I didn't, but I almost did.
Well, do you know what? I love that you're doing this. I love that, we can see you on TikTok, being you, living your life, also giving us music. But I love now that we are doing these interviews and we're getting to see more of you, because I read an interview that you did do, and you said, I'm looking forward to people making assumptions about me and proving them wrong. What is the biggest mistake that people have made about you?
I think sometimes the biggest thing is like because when you're on social media and you have a song that like does well on social media, the biggest thing is like people thinking that you didn't do the things you did before social media. Like, I was writing songs before I was on TikTok. I was doing music before I was on TikTok. Like, I've been doing music for 10 years and I've been on TikTok for almost 2. It's like such a small part of my artistry and what I was doing.
Yeah.
And like I was literally just making music in Nashville, trying to post it on Twitter and Instagram and all the social medias, and then TikTok kind of started becoming a thing, so I started posting there. And I have like, ABC was the first song that I was angry in. That like when you look, it was like really the first time I was like saying like F you to this person. And I'm definitely more than just like the angry girl. And like I write a lot of my songs, and it's not just like one song. And also like it isn't this big like it's honestly, I do take it as a compliment, but it's not this big like marketing scheme super planned out to the T. Like, I just like posted a song and it did well, and then I was like, oh, I should probably put this out. Like, it wasn't this big like she's gonna post this at this time and this is gonna happen. Like, no, I was just on TikTok. And like you can't like I wasn't, there's not this super like
plan. You can't plan that stuff.
You genuinely cannot put a plan to that. Like, you cannot plan what happened. And so and I also like I wrote ABC a year ago, so I've been writing songs consistently since then too. And I still plan on writing more songs,
I hope so. Like, I'm really hoping this isn't the final one. 2 final questions. 1, has the ex reached out to you? And 2, how many people have asked you about the dog?
A lot of people asked about the dog, that's for sure. They asked me like, what type of dog is it? What's the dog's name? All that.
Well, what type of dog is it, and what is the dog's name?
It's Kayla. Her name was Kayla. Actually, I never said the dog's name in the interview because I also like, at the end of the day, like, am I 100% telling this person to like F off and their whole entire family and everything to do with them? Yes, but like, I don't want the internet to do that to him personally.
Yeah.
You know, like I still want to give him some like privacy in some sense, because like he knows who he is, but then like I know he knows those are the only people that really need to know, you know.
That's enough.
That's enough. I already filmed a music video pretending to break into his home, telling him to F off. Like I'm, you know, like I have my limits. But I mean, honestly, I blocked him on everything in February of 2021. You know, this was a long process of processing emotions for the song to even happen. Like I have 2 songs that were out before ABC. That's also an assumption that people make, was ABC was my first song. Like I get it. I get that like a lot of people hear this song and they think this is the first thing they hear of me, so they associate with the song. Like I get it. But I have 2 songs that are out before ABC came out, and they're both about him. One's a love song. It's called Orange Peel. And it's still like kind of a breakup song. Like it's one of those things where I was like, it's like, wish that I could take all of this off like an orange peel. Like I wish I could like peel off the negativity of me loving you and just loving you. Like after an ex relationship, I wish it wasn't sad for me to love you and I could just love you. You know, happy for you is like, I'm sad you're living a life without me. But like you should, but like that makes me sad. And so like I had to process like all of those like happiness and love to get to the angry part. And so there's a lot of things that happened along the way, and it was just easier for everybody and the both of us involved. It was a super unemotional detachment and a clean break. And so I blocked him on everything except text, and I got like a no caller ID call like a month or 2 ago. And I remember when I got the call, I was like, it's him. I don't know what it was, but I instantly thought of him. And so then I picked up the phone call and I just said, hello. And then they hung up. So maybe.
Okay.
But
well, do you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm just glad that you're creating this space for you to process your emotions and for people to know that it's okay to feel emotion and enjoy your music at the same time. Gayle, I could talk to you for ages, but I have to wrap it and let you get to others. Thank you for spending time with me.
Thank you for spending time with me and caring. I really appreciate it.